Hi everyone, welcome to Poppy DIY Crafts. Today we have a new Elves box. This is a subscription box from Sophie and Toffee. This is the August box. Let's take a look at what's inside. Oh, take a look. This is the spooky glow box. So let's take a look. It looks like we are going to be getting a lot of fun items for Halloween. First item here. Oh, take a look. We have a large cauldron. So this cauldron is really neat because it has an inner layer here. So that means you don't have to fill the entire thing with resin. You only fill in the outside and that leaves the middle empty. And here is also the lid, and it looks like there's some bubbles in there. So this is what it would look like once we add the resin. We have another large mold. And take a look, it's a pumpkin. Oh, not just any pumpkin. This is a jack-o'-lantern. And just like the cauldron, there is an inner insert so that the lantern can be empty on the inside. And it also comes with a lid. But wait, there is more. Oh my goodness. So we got another mold here. Okay, so this is the Halloween hotel tags. I see pumpkins, lips, a skull, and a crow. Looks really spooky. Here's a smaller mold. And these are all Halloween themed. So I see some spiders, spider webs, potions, witch's hat. I think there's a frog in here, some candy, a ghost. We have a set of shaker oil. One is green and the other one is clear. We have a set of epoxy resin. This is for bigger or thicker size projects. And there's more. We have an orange LED light, some glow in the dark powder. So this is pigment in pink and green. These are glow in the dark polymer clay bats. They're so tiny. Some confetti. These are Halloween themed. So we get lots of blacks, purples, and oranges. Some pumpkin charms. Oh, look at this. These are cute. 2 little bat charms. And some glow-in-the-dark Halloween stickers. These are nail decals. Okay, so I think that's everything. So let's go ahead and mix the resin. I'm going to pour in both bottles and stir it up. In a smaller cup, I'm going to pour out half the resin. I'm going to add some black ink and some confetti glitter. I'm going to mix it all up and we're going to pour it into the cauldron mold. The instruction says to pour it about halfway. Then we'll add the insert. Here I see a gap, so I'm going to pour a little bit more resin in. The instructions does say to let it overflow. So the only problem is that I can't really tell if there are any bubbles. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope we don't get any bubbles. And then what we're supposed to do is press it down and weigh it with something heavy. This way the insert won't float and lift up. The lid is simple, we're just going to fill it up with resin. In this cup we are going to add some orange glitter. And the glitter is heavy, so it's going to sink to the bottom and leave the rest of the resin mostly clear. But I think it's going to look good anyways. So we're going to pour this halfway into the mold and add the insert. Here I see a little bit of a gap, so we're going to pour in more resin. I'm going to weigh it down with something heavy. And let's pour the rest into the lid. So I've used up my first batch of resin. It was just enough for the cauldron and the pumpkin. For the rest of the molds, I'm going to make a new batch of resin. And here we're going to add glitter to it and pour it into the molds. Alright, so now all we have to do is wait. Alright everyone, so it's been a day and we are now ready to demold. So I'm pretty excited about this. Let's go ahead and take out the pumpkin first. Oh no, it looks like I didn't fully fill it. Oh, I couldn't tell. So I did get some overflow, so I assumed that the pumpkin was full, but it seems like the resin settled a bit afterwards and actually was not full. So we do have quite a bit of a gap there. So next time we will have to be more careful. But let's go ahead and take it out anyways, so that we can see what the pumpkin looks like and if there's anything else we need to improve on next time. So I'm just going to flip it inside out. And the mold is pretty clean. So we can easily reuse it. Okay, so here is the pumpkin. It's missing about a centimeter or 3/4 of a centimeter on top, so it's not fully complete, but just imagine it's a little bit taller. So the eyes indent in, and so does the mouth. And since I use glitter and glitter is heavy, it did sink to the bottom. So if you use glitter, you're gonna get this pretty cool effect, I think. So you get a little bit of that teeth effect here and a whole bunch of glitter on the bottom. And as you can see, I actually have a lot of bubbles, especially around the nose area. And of course the very top here, but usually you can just trim this off with an X-Acto knife. So what you would do, you would take the X-Acto knife like this, and you kind of just trim off that excess top there with a bit of bubble. And then you can smooth it down with some sandpaper too. Let's take a look at the lid. The lid should be fine. The lid has a bit of jagged edges to it. I'm not sure if it's because it's supposed to look like that. Let's see. So I think this is what the lid is supposed to look like. There's a bit of a jagged edge there. And what I would do is probably take some scissors and clean off the sharp ends and smooth it out. So I think I want to try it again because I'm not sure if it's supposed to look like this. Seems a little odd to me that it would look like this. Maybe next time that we use this mold, we will poke at it a little bit with a toothpick to make sure that the resin goes all the way in. So you had the pumpkin, it go like this. Okay, so let's take a look at the cauldron. So the cauldron for sure overflowed. So I was pretty sure of that because I got some resin on the bottom of the cauldron. And let's take a look. So you can tell it came all the way up. Demolding this is so satisfying. Okay, there's the cauldron. So this here we're going to trim off later. And this is what you want, some excess. And let's see if we can get this cauldron out. So make sure to give it enough time to cure because this one is very tight. Okay, I think it's coming out. This one's very tight. Woo! I'm glad the silicone is very strong, so there are no rips in there. Okay, so here is the cauldron, and just like before, all of our glitter went down to the bottom, but I did color the resin, so that's why you can see the black. Let's take our scissors here to give it a trim. And it looks like we also have a little bit of a gap. So this part of the rim, I think, is what you want. This part did not have any resin, and so as you can see it looks unfinished. And there's some bubbles there. There's a few big gigantic bubbles and a whole bunch along the rim. But this is actually really hard to clean up just because this is sitting right on it and you can't see the bubbles. But the rest of it looks great. This is a very fun size too. Okay, let's take a look at that lid. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Little bubbles on here. I can see a few small bubbles, but because I use glitter, it kind of hides it. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh, you know what? we are actually okay. So I think normally it's supposed to look like this, where the cauldron's lip goes up and flares out, and so the bubbles goes right there. But if you did like me on this side where it's a little bit too low, you can still put a lid on it. What you might want to do is just seal it and turn it into a very big shaker. So I think either way works. It looks better like this, but this way, if you just clean up the edges, I think it's okay too. Especially if you seal it or you put some beads on there or some other decoration to kind of cover up the flaw. This is really, really cute. And now let's take a look at the tags. Oh, this looks really, really nice. So right now you can't really see the etchings. What I'm going to do is paint it with some ultra black base coat paint. I think next time what I'm going to do is actually paint the etchings first and then pour in the resin. You can also paint it with white if you like. If you want, you can also use paint markers. I'm just gently going over the top and not get the paint into the grooves. Alright, so here it is. This one was done with acrylic paint and the stiff paintbrush, and these two were done with paint markers. Oh, I think this one's upside down. It's a pumpkin. I didn't see that before. And this one is a lip. And after painting them, I'm actually seeing a lot of flaws in here, a lot of bubbles, so that was my fault. I should have used a toothpick to make sure all the bubbles are out. So that's something I have to do for the next round. And now finally we get to look at the little shaker bits. Take a look. So these also need some painting. The glitter is very pretty. So these are a little bit different. The etchings are actually indented, so what we're going to do is cover the entire thing with paint, and you can pick any color you like. Just want to make sure the paint is inside the grooves. And then with the baby wipe or a wet wipe, we're going to wipe across it. And as you can see, we wiped off the top layer of paint and left the paint in the grooves. So you might want to do this 2 times just to make sure you get all the grooves covered. Let's do a second one here. This one's a skull and bones. Do a quick swipe. And then we're going to have to go in and fill in the eyes. And let's do a potion bottle. There's actually a lot of details. You just can't tell without painting it. There it is, looking so much better. Alright everyone, so here are all the little pieces painted. Aren't these fun? So we have a ghost, a frog, some candy, potion bottles, mushroom, an ear, a nose. These are really fun. So what you can do is actually fill them, put them into your pumpkin or the little cauldron and make it into a little shaker. Alright everyone, so I had a lot of fun with this month's box. I really love these molds and I can see so many different things I can make with them. So if you want your own box, go down to the description and use my link. It's an affiliate link, but you get a discount. And if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you give it a big thumbs up. Alright, see you next time. Bye!